Welcome back to the deep dive. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Today's topic is traditionally the broccoli of personal finance.
The broccoli. That is quite the sales pitch.
It is. I mean, it's the stuff nobody puts on their vision board, right? Nobody is bragging at a dinner party about their liability coverage limits. It's unsexy, it costs money, and frankly, it's kind of a downer to think about.
I can hear people reaching for the skip button already.
Wait, don't skip. Because here is the twist. While this is the invisible half of wealth building, it is the absolute bedrock that determines if you actually get to keep the money you make.
Right.
I spent all this time talking about offense making money, investing. But if your defense is full of holes, the game is over before it even starts.
That's a very fair assessment. In the grand scheme of the strategy we are analyzing, this is a real pivot point. It is the moment where we stop thinking only about growing the pile.
And start thinking about how to keep it.
Exactly. Start ensuring we can actually keep what we have built. It's not about being fearful. It's about being structural.
Right. And for anyone joining us midway, let's set the stage properly.
Good idea.
We are analyzing the 3 stages, 13 steps to financial independence, developed by Tamir Kaham. Tamir is the originator and architect of this entire strategy.
He's also the creator of the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence.
And he's the official Hebrew translator of The Richest Man in Babylon. And I think it's this specific blend of modern systems engineering with, ancient financial wisdom that makes this approach so powerful.
And today we are discussing Stage 2, Step 10 of the strategy. This is a critical milestone. Step 10, risk management and protection, is the final step of Stage 2.
Okay, so let's look at the map. We are preparing to transition from resilience to growth. We spent the last few deep dives stabilizing cash flow, automating savings, ruthlessly killing debt. We have serious momentum.
We do.
So I have to ask the question that I think a lot of listeners are thinking, why are we hitting the brakes now? Why not just jump straight into Stage 3 and start buying assets? I want to see my net worth go up, not my premiums.
It does feel like braking, doesn't it? But here is the reality. Growth without protection is fragility.
Fragility.
That is the core theme of Step 10. You cannot enter Stage 3, which is all about acquiring income-producing assets, until you have ensured the path is shielded. If you start acquiring assets without these shields in place, you aren't really building wealth.
What are you doing then?
You are simply increasing your surface area for disaster.
Increasing your surface area for disaster. That is an unsettling way to put it.
It's the only way to put it. I mean, think about the specific hook for this step. The narrative goes something like this.
Okay.
You spend years building, you save, you invest, you sacrifice, and you slowly watch your net worth grow.
Right, you're doing all the right things.
And then, in a single afternoon, one unforeseen event, and it wipes out years of progress. Not because your investment strategy was wrong, but because you forgot one thing: protection.
That is the nightmare scenario. You do everything right on the spreadsheet, you pick the right index funds, and then boom, life happens.
Life happens. And I think this is where the disconnect happens for our target audience. We're talking to salaried individuals who are trying to move from financial dependence
to asset ownership.
Right.
But when you're an employee, you kind of feel safe, right?
That is the immunity illusion. It's also called the main character trap.
Oh, I definitely have that.
Yeah.
We all feel like the main character in our own movie. And in the movie, the protagonist has plot armor.
Right.
Bad things happen to the side characters or the people on the news, not to me. I'm the hero of the story. I have to make it to the end.
That psychological trap is so expensive. In a system designed for a lifetime 40, 50 years risk is not a question of if, it is a question of when.
So an asset owner knows this.
An asset owner understands that they do not have plot armor, they have a system. And systems break unless they are reinforced.
So we need to shift our identity here. We are moving from employee to asset owner. So how does an employee look at insurance versus an asset owner? Because as an employee, I admit, I look at insurance as a tax on my happiness.
That's the standard view for sure. An employee sees insurance and protection as a nuisance cost.
Money down the drain.
Exactly. Money down the drain. They pay it because the bank makes them or the law makes them, and they resent writing that check every month. But an asset owner just flips the script.
How so?
They see it as a structural necessity. It's the cost of doing business. It is the responsibility that comes with owning the machine that supports your entire life.
Before we get into the how, I want to clarify something, because the source material makes a real distinction between financial independence and wealth. Are we protecting a big pile of money here? Because, frankly, most people listening, myself included, don't have a massive pile of money yet.
This is such a mandatory distinction. And no, financial independence is not wealth. People confuse them all the time.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Financial independence means your passive income covers your expenses. You have freedom of choice. It is achievable first. Wealth is accumulation far beyond necessity. It's surplus. We aren't trying to protect a yacht you haven't bought yet.
So we're protecting the path.
We are protecting the path to freedom. We're protecting the continuity of your life and your ability to choose. If you confuse the two, you might think, well, I don't have millions, so I don't need protection. But you are actually protecting the capability to get there.
Okay, let's unpack this with some numbers, because there is this concept in the source material that completely changed how I view my own value. It's the concept of the $3 million asset.
This is usually the light bulb moment for people. Let's do the math. Imagine a 30-year-old earning, say, $100,000 a year.
Okay.
Even if they never get a raise, which is, unlikely over the next 30 years of their career, how much will they earn?
Simple math, $3 million.
Right. So just by walking around, waking up, and going to work, they are a $3 million asset. Their human capital, their ability to earn, is a $3 million machine sitting in their basement just printing money.
And here's the paradox, right?
Yeah.
That same person will buy a $30,000 car. And what does the bank make them do?
Full coverage insurance. And we obsess over it. If there's a tiny scratch on the bumper, we panic.
Exactly. But that $3 million money printing machine, their own body and mind, they often leave it completely exposed.
It's incredible. If the car gets totaled, you lose $30,000. If your ability to earn gets totaled, you lose $3 million. Yet people will insure the Civic and ignore the human.
That is just absurd when you say it out loud.
Yeah.
We insure the golden egg, but we completely ignore the goose.
Precisely. And that leads us to the 4 pillars of protection. If you want to audit your life, you have to look at these 4 categories. If you miss one, your fortress has a gaping hole in the wall.
Okay, let's walk through them. Pillar 1.
Pillar 1 is personal risks. This is the one we just talked about. Protecting the income engine. This covers illness, disability, and death.
The goose.
The goose. If you cannot work, the engine stops. If the engine stops, the entire system collapses. And this is the most neglected pillar because of that immunity illusion we talked about.
Okay, play devil's advocate with me. I'm healthy. I go to the gym. I eat kale sometimes. Why should I pay hundreds of dollars a month for disability insurance when the odds seem so low? It just feels like throwing money into a black hole.
That's the youth fallacy. I'm young and healthy. I don't need it. But here's the reality check. You buy insurance when you are prime stock, when you are young and healthy, because that is when it is cheap.
Ah.
If you wait until you have a back problem or high blood pressure or a stress diagnosis, you are now damaged goods to the insurer. You will either pay a fortune or be completely uninsurable. You don't buy fire insurance when the kitchen is already smoking.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You lock in the rate when you're a low risk. Okay, pillar 2. This one feels a bit more familiar.
Pillar 2 is asset risks. This is the standard stuff. Fire, theft, damage to physical property. Your house burns down, your car gets stolen.
And most people have this right.
Most people have this because banks require it for mortgages and car loans. But the key here is to ensure you are covered for replacement cost, not just market value. If your house burns down, you need enough to rebuild it, not just what it was worth on Zillow last week.
Good distinction.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, pillar 3. The source material calls this the silent killer. This sounds ominous.
It should. Pillar 3 is liability risks. This is the danger of having no ceiling on your loss. We're talking about lawsuits and third-party claims.
Give me a real-world scenario. How does this actually destroy someone?
Okay, so imagine you have a dog. Friendly dog, never hurt a fly. One day, the mail carrier startles it, the dog bites, and causes significant nerve damage to the carrier's hand.
Oof. Okay.
Or someone slips on ice on your driveway and needs back surgery. They sue you.
Okay, but I have homeowner's insurance. Doesn't that cover it?
Usually only up to a certain limit, maybe $300,000. But what if the judgment is for $1.5 million? Where does the rest come from?
Okay. Yeah, they're like my savings.
They take your savings, they can put liens on your property, and this is the scary part, they can garnish your future wages.
For how long?
They can take a chunk of every paycheck you earn for the next 10 years. You are working for them now.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
So how do we fix this? I mean, I can't predict if someone's going to slip on my driveway.
The source material strongly recommends an umbrella policy. It is often the highest value, lowest cost protection you can buy.
An umbrella policy.
For a few $100s a year, literally the price of a streaming subscription, you can often get $1 million or more of liability coverage that just sits on top of your other policies. It is cheap because the probability is low, but the impact is catastrophic.
Okay, that is super actionable umbrella policy. I'm writing that down. What's Pillar 4?
Pillar 4 is cash flow risks. This is about income interruption layoffs, recessions, economic downturns. This connects back to the emergency fund we built in Step 7.
Right.
But here we view it through the lens of protection against being a forced seller.
A forced seller. Explain that concept.
It is the ultimate wealth destroyer. Imagine the market crashes 40%. The economy is in the toilet. And because the economy is bad, you lose your job in the same week.
A double whammy.
If you don't have that cash flow protection, you might have to sell your investments at the absolute bottom just to buy groceries or pay the mortgage.
So you lock in those losses permanently. You can never ride the recovery back up because you sold everything.
Exactly. You cannibalize your own future. Growth without protection forces you to destroy the machine just to survive.
So we have personal, asset, liability, and cash flow. Those are the 4 walls. But even knowing this, people try to outsmart the system. The source material lists some specific fallacies. We touched on the youth fallacy, but there's another one that smart people love, the investment fallacy.
Oh, this is the classic spreadsheet warrior mistake. They say, I won't pay for insurance. I'll take those premiums, invest them in the S&P 500, and I'll self-insure. I'll come out ahead.
The math sounds clever on the surface. Why doesn't it work?
Because of timing. You cannot outsave a catastrophe in the early years. Let's say disability insurance costs $100 a month. You decide to invest that instead. After 3 years, you have, about $4,000 saved up with interest?
Something like that.
Then disaster strikes. You get in a car accident and can't work for 10 years.
And $4,000 lasts about a month, maybe.
Exactly. You needed $1 million payout, and you brought $4,000 to the table. Insurance is the only financial product that provides instant capital creation exactly when you need it. You pay pennies to transfer a risk you cannot afford to a company that can.
That's a really clear way to put it.
Yeah.
Instant capital creation. Okay, what about the emergency fund fallacy? People think, I did Step 7, I have 6 months of expenses, I'm bulletproof.
This is a critical distinction. Step 7, the emergency fund, is a shield. It protects against temporary disruption, a broken transmission, a short job gap.
Right.
Step 10, insurance, is protection against permanent catastrophe. Your emergency fund cannot replace your salary for 20 years if you become disabled. Do not ask a shield to do the job of a fortress.
So how do we implement this without going broke paying premiums? Because I feel like if I insured everything, I'd have no money left to actually invest.
And you shouldn't. Please don't insure everything. The rule for implementation is simple. Insure catastrophic risks, self-insure nuisance risks.
So no extended warranty on the toaster.
Please no. Do not insure a toaster. Do not insure a hamster. Do not buy the extended warranty on a $50 pair of headphones. Those are nuisance risks. If they break, it's annoying, but it won't ruin your life.
You just pay for those out of pocket.
You pay for those out of your pocket. You do insure against disability, death, major lawsuits, and house fires. Those are catastrophic.
There's also a rule mentioned called the sword versus shield rule. Love the imagery here, but what does it mean practically?
It's a capital allocation rule. Never use your emergency fund to buy your assets. When people get excited about investing, they sometimes drain their emergency fund to buy a stock like Tesla or put a down payment on a rental property. They say, I'm putting my money to work. Cash is trash.
I've definitely heard that. Why let it sit there earning nothing?
But they have just dropped their shield to pick up a heavier sword. If they trip or if the market turns, they are completely defenseless. You haven't become a savvy investor. You've just become a gambler without a safety net. Mixing them weakens both.
That is a crucial takeaway. Okay, let's zoom out. We use analogies a lot in this series to help visualize the journey. We've talked about the rocket launch. Where does Step 10 fit into that sequence?
Okay, so if Step 5 was clearing the launch pad, and Step 8 was dropping the heavy boosters of debt, and Step 9 was engaging autopilot, then Step 10 is orbital stabilization.
Orbital stabilization. Meaning what exactly?
The rocket is up, we have velocity, but we are in a vacuum, exposed to all sorts of things, debris, radiation, temperature swings. Step 10 ensures the mission doesn't just crash back to Earth due to a single deviation. We are locking in the orbit so we can stay there for the long haul.
And there's another metaphor from the source that I really like, the Formula One car. Because I think people still view insurance as something that slows them down. It's a drag on the portfolio.
This metaphor really helps shift the mindset from insurance is a burden to insurance is an enabler. Think about a Formula One car. It has massive, expensive carbon ceramic brakes and an incredibly strong safety cell for the driver.
Right.
Are those brakes there to make the driver go slow?
No, obviously not. They're
Yeah,
racing.
exactly. The brakes and the safety cell are the very things that allow the driver to go 200 miles per hour with confidence. If you were in a car with no brakes, no seatbelt, no roll cage, how fast would you drive?
About 15 miles an hour, and I'd be terrified.
Protection enables speed. Step 10 enables aggressive asset acquisition in stage 3, because you know that if you take a risk and it doesn't pan out, or if something happens in your personal life, the floor won't fall out from under you.
You have capped your downside, which allows you to chase the upside. That is a powerful reframe. It's not an expense. It's a permission slip to go fast.
That is the perfect way to say it, correct.
Now, before we wrap up stage 2, we do need to handle some important business. We've been throwing around terms like liability and policies.
Yes, the disclaimer. This content is strictly educational. It is not personalized financial investment or legal advice. We are discussing frameworks and principles.
And your success depends on your execution.
And you must consult qualified professionals, insurance agents, lawyers, accountants who understand your specific situation. No guarantees are made.
Absolutely. You are the asset owner. You make the executive decisions. So let's summarize. We have reached a major milestone today.
We have completed stage 2. Think about what you have built. You have resilience. You have cash flow control, savings habits, an emergency fund, no bad debt, automated systems, and now comprehensive protection. The foundation is solid rock.
It feels good just saying all that. We are not just surviving anymore. We are fortified.
And that means we are ready to cross the threshold. The foundation is done. Now we get to build the skyscraper.
Which leads us to our next deep dive.
Step 11, acquiring your first income-producing asset. This is the transition from saver to investor. This is where the fun really begins.
I cannot wait for that one. Now, if you want to dive deeper into the visuals of this strategy or see how Tamir breaks down the math of the $3 million asset,
You can find the YouTube channel at The Golden Path to Financial Independence. The handle is @TamirGoldPath.
that's at Tamir Bullpath. Definitely check it out.
And before we go, we always leave you with a challenge. Something to take this from theory to action. Because listening to us talk about insurance is easy.
Actually, looking at your policy is hard.
Sure.
So this week, your mission is to conduct a personal risk audit. It sounds formal, but it's really just asking the hard questions.
Go through the 4 pillars: personal, asset, liability, cash flow. Ask yourself, what if? What if I couldn't work for 5 years? What if I got sued for $1 million? And then identify the single biggest unprotected risk in your life right now.
And take one concrete action. Call an agent, dig up that old policy to see what it actually covers, read the fine print, or just research the umbrella policy we mentioned. Don't let that immunity illusion stop you.
Growth without protection is fragility. Protect your path.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
2025 Tamir Kaham. All rights reserved. The Golden Path and the Golden Path to FI are trademarks of Tamir Kaham.